Welcome, John.
Thank you, Don. Good to see you.
This is John Pallone, who is running for mayor of Long Branch, is currently, if I'm correct, the president of the city council.
Yes, sir.
Okay. John, introduce yourself. Tell us your story, especially for those people who may not know you.
Okay, thank you, Don. My name is John Pallone. I am running for mayor. I was born and raised here in Long Branch, graduated from Long Branch High School, went on to get my bachelor's degree at New York University, and several years later received my master's degree in public administration from the City University of New York. Public service has always been important to me and to my family. My grandparents immigrated from Italy in the early 1900s. They were involved in some of the Italian-American organizations here in the city. My dad was a Long Branch police officer, fireman, and first aid squad, so as I said, public service has always been important. For myself, I've been on the city council for the last 8 years, currently serving as the president. I've been on I'm the current vice president of the public library board, position I'm very proud of. Our public library has, in the last few years, been recognized for many of their programs statewide, and is clearly recognized as one of the best public libraries in the state, which is quite an accomplishment considering that we're a small independent library, and our director was recently named the Library Director of the Year, and she was competing with universities and colleges and large institutions. I'm also very proud to be a member of the, following my father's footsteps of being an EMT on the Long Branch and Elbron First Aid Squad. I'm on the Urban Enterprise Zone Board, a trustee of the Seven Presidents Museum, where we've also had some accomplishments in the last few years. So I'm very active in the community and love doing so, Don.
Okay. So why are you running for mayor this time?
I'm running for mayor, Don, because I'd like to see positive change in our city. And I'm also running because I want to engage the community. I want an open and fair government. When I say engage the community, what I mean by that is that we have an incredible, wonderful city here in Long Branch. We have a beautiful ocean front. We are a diverse community, probably one of the most diverse communities in the state. And our residents and all of us take pride in our city, and that's something that that's very unique about Long Branch. But we have some challenges. We have some issues. We need to have a serious discussion about development, traffic, parking. We have issues of abandoned properties here in the city. We always need to stabilize taxes. I think we can improve our services significantly and just be more responsive to the community in general. Like I indicated earlier, I think we want to be very inclusive and open. I'd like to see, we're talking about here, Don, I'd like to see televised city council meetings. When I came into the city came onto the city council in 2010, I initiated city council office hours because I realized that some people don't necessarily want to talk publicly in front of a large audience. They may not feel comfortable with that. So we've had a very successful program whereby people can, on the first Wednesday of the month, meet with 2 city council members and the business administrator to discuss any concerns that they have. It's a very positive program that's worked out very well. I'd also like to bring the city government to the people, so I'd like to see more town hall meetings. I'd like to get people, as I said, engaged so that they feel that they have a voice, that they're being heard. And that's also, Don, what our team is all about. We've assembled a group of people who have a lot of experience and are trusted and respected in the community. It's a diverse group of people. I'm going to mention their names: Mary Jane Sully, Anita Boyd, Rose Wittes, Billy Dangler, and Mario Vieira. We all have very different and interesting backgrounds and and we all bring a lot to the community.
Okay. Is there any particular issues, because basically the next question would be, if you can hone in a little bit on the next 4 years, what would be initial things that you would really want to work on?
There's three things that I'd like to talk about. The first is the issue of development. I think that we need to get a better handle on some of these agreements, development agreements, before we begin. I think one of the problems that I see with some of the agreements in the past is when developers come into our community, there seems to be an attitude of what we can do for them. It really should be what they can do for us. And what I mean by that is, I think if a developer wants to come in the city, we need to let them know what we want. We need to let them know that we want jobs for our residents. We want training programs. We want set-asides for, if not the area where the development project is taking place, then somewhere else in the community where they can be of help. We want to make sure that our stakeholders are involved. The school has a seat at the table, the county has a seat at the table, and the residents in general have a seat at the table as well. We want to talk about public space for any large development companies that come into town. The other thing I'd like to talk about is just we need to have a clean city. We need to be more responsive to our constituents. And I speak a lot about abandoned properties. These abandoned properties are having a real negative impact on our community. We need to register these abandoned properties. We need to go after the banks and the absentee landlords who are neglecting these properties, make sure that they address these issues and these properties, and if not, we'll take care of them ourselves and send them the bill. And the last thing on a positive note I'd like to talk about is one of the first things I'd like to bring to the city is something that I presented to the City Council, I believe back in September, which is a property tax rewards program. This is a program that's been working in 23 communities statewide, whereby residents, it's a win-win for residents and for business owners in the business community, whereby a resident can, every resident in town is issued what in essence is a rebate card where they can go to a participating restaurant or store or shop. Let me give you an example. If someone were to go into a restaurant and they had a bill for $100, they would pay that bill for $100, but the business owner would have a negotiated rate, a negotiated discount of, let's say, typically 7 to 12%. And once they swipe the card and pay that bill, that would be an automatic property tax reduction from their third quarter tax bill. Again, it's not going to save thousands of dollars, but quite frankly, if you could save a couple $100 on your property tax bill, that's a good thing. And again, it gets people involved. It's great for the business community. That's something that we'd like to.
Sounds like it's an encouragement to really spend your money locally.
And that's why we plan on calling it Shop Long Branch, Tom.
Yeah, would be a good thing. Our time is kind of running down a little bit. Let's look ahead 10 years. What would be your vision of Long Branch in 10 years?
Well, I think one of the problems we're having right now is there seems to be a tale of two cities here in Long Branch. I think the administration seems to be focused on Pier Village in particularly, and I think we need to focus on the rest of the community. So my vision for 10 years is that we have one community. We have an environment where people enjoy participating in public life, in government. People feel engaged. People are enjoying a quality of life, and I think that's what I'd like to see in the next 10 years. Also, Don, that so people can afford a quality of life and enjoy staying in Long Branch, because right now, taxes are hard. It's difficult for people to even stay in town here. So I think that's what I'd like to see in the next 10 years in vision.
Okay, sounds like a good closing argument since we've run out of time.
Thank you very
John,
much. Tom.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.